Welcome along in, everybody, to the Red Card Radio news episode for Match Week 36. My name is James. I support Arsenal. That's Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below, that's Sean. He supports Tottenham. We hope this is the one-stop shop, the one place that you need to come for news in and relating to the English Premier League. Boys, how we doing? You guys excited? You guys ready to talk about some Champions League football?
Yeah, we're all very experienced in what is going on in this realm.
I mean,
we are all excited and are a part of these European festivities.
I am ready to scope the competition for next year's competition. But before we take a look at the news from this week, if you are new here, if you stumbled across us, if the algorithm pointed you to us yesterday, hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell so you're always alerted to new Red Card Radio episodes. If you're on one of the podcast sites, a follow, 5-star review if your platform so allows. All those things really do help us out. Drop a comment on YouTube and we will talk about it in next week's rounds of episode. And join our Discord. It's in the description below. We talk all kinds of things, football, chess, Formula One. So we'd love to hear from you and interact with you there. But kind of what we have on the docket for this evening, maybe a little bit of a light one. We'll see. I always say that, and then we record an hour-long episode, so maybe I just cursed us. But we're going to be talking about the Champions League. We'll mention the Europa League just because there's a lot of Italian giants in there for Sean, and West Ham are still kicking it in the Conference League. We got this PGMOL sympathy tour thing going on right now that's I find kind of interesting. And then F1 is maybe happening this weekend. Kind of interesting.
Maybe.
It's maybe race week. So we do want to kick it off in the Champions League. So at time of recording, one of the ties is finished. One of the ties has a game yet to be played. So in the tie that is finished, the Milan derby, if you guys recall, Inter Milan beat AC Milan last week by a score of 2-0. This week they continued their dominance. They have won the match, or the tie, 3-0 on aggregate. So that meant they won 1-0 on Tuesday.
There's a quick, because Inter will be heading. No, this is a quick one. Do you guys recall, if you exclude Roma and last year's Conference League, which has only been around for that was the first year, right?
Yeah.
First or second year. When the last time an Italian team won a European Cup?
Probably Inter in 2010.
It was Inter. So Inter move on to the Champions League final, and the last time a European Cup was won by an Italian team was Inter with Jose in 2010.
Yeah. Juve went to 2 finals in the mid-thousands, but they lost to Barcelona both times, I believe. Both of those were under Max Allegri, if I'm not mistaken.
They lost to Barcelona in 14-15. They lost to Madrid in 16-17.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because Gareth Bale had like an overhead kick in that game. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so...
and then they bought... that's when Ronaldo went to Juventus, and then they never got back there again.
Yep. They bought Ronaldo to help them win the Champions League, and then...
Yeah.
In the same way that Manchester United bought Ronaldo to help them win the Premier League.
Yeah. And or we could say in the way that Manchester City bought Haaland to win the Champions League, which might actually be successful.
Yeah. So like, I don't
I'm going into there because we have Madrid City coming next.
You're just mentioning but the Ronaldo thing was like funny because Ronaldo went places and the teams that he went to got worse.
Yeah, terrible.
But Haaland went to City and
I know that's why I said that they might actually do it. This might actually work for once. Buying a player for one specific thing might actually work.
So if we think about City and Madrid, so that tie ended 1-1 last week. So everything is yet to play. At the time of recording, we haven't seen that match. At the time of listening, you guys are in the future. You have seen the result of this match. So we're going to quickly make some predictions in this match. Brad?
I'm sticking with Madrid. Let's go.
Okay, well, I need a score, bro.
3-2 aggregate.
Oh, wow. Okay.
2-1.
Sean?
I got 2-1.
I was exactly calling a 2-1 Madrid late winner because that's what they do.
Yeah, and they rested Vinicius.
And I just want you to point out to you James,
Me.
that it on this podcast and in the league, it is Arsenal bad. It is Arsenal bad. I like to point. It is Arsenal suck, and it's funny that they suck. Arsenal bad.
This is the 50 Cent meme. Like, why he say?
Yeah.
Me?
But in Europe, it's bump city, baby. Let's go, Madrid. Just get old Baldy out of here. No,
I see what you're saying now. I got it. I'm tracking.
Yeah, it's Arsenal bad in the league, but in Europe, no. Baldy can't be winning UCLs out here.
Yeah, but do you want Madrid to win their 15th?
I don't care. Madrid don't have nothing to do with me.
Okay.
I don't care.
Wait. I wonder if Madrid wins, Hazard's still on the roster. Do we get more money from Madrid? If so, then I was still Hala Madrid, but
I'm pretty sure their contracts they stipulate a Champions League probably, and then the one which was like last year.
If we win a Champions, if Hazard, if we win a Champions League,
there's a one-time fee for that.
Yeah, would be my guess. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe Chelsea, maybe Marina got that deal set up real well.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to give her big props or something because 3 years ago you would have been like,
I loved Marina when she was selling people, but the contract situation at Chelsea these past 2 years has been absolutely terrible.
Well, last year's contracts is all Todd Bowley's fault in his 8-year contracts. So blame that on Todd.
Okay, I'm sorry. The 2 years before that, and that we had all of the center backs with their contracts expiring at the same time. This year we have all of the midfielders with their contracts expiring at the same time. So
you just deal with one aspect of your team at a time. Just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I guess that's how Marino was doing it. I don't know.
I think City's gonna win. I think City is going to get to the Champions League final. I think they'll win probably 2 or 3-0.
How about are we going to talk about we did talk about that one. About the Conference League. We still have no. We got
to talk about our team, about Red Car Radio's team in the Europa League.
You talk about Roma?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are rooting for Jose.
AS Roma. We're cheering Jose on for being the first manager to win all 3.
We just want him to go back. Yeah, we just want him to go bam, bam, bam.
So is this? We have to take this to the logical conclusion then. So we want him to win the Conference League, the Europa League.
Won the Conference League. Yep.
Hold on.
Yep.
But here's a question. The winner of the UEFA Super Cup goes to the Club World Cup as the representative of UEFA. So traditionally, that's the Champions League winner because the Champions League winner traditionally wins the Super Cup. Do you want him to win the Super Cup first or lose the Super Cup and then win the Champions League the next year and then win the Super Cup and then go win the Club World Cup? It kind of has to be the latter. It has to be in order.
I think so. It has to be we're going, we want the build.
Yeah.
We want the Roma build.
Yeah. That would be wild. It would be insane. And it's not going to happen, but it would be wild. He certainly could. He could certainly win the Europa League this year. Certainly.
Wait, there's a rumor though. So let's say he wins the Europa League this year. There's a rumor that he may be going to PSG.
Okay, but he debunked that
PSG
himself.
PSG wins the Champions League.
No, he debunked that himself. He said if PSG are if they're trying to hire me, they never called me. So he's saying that they didn't contact him. So,
I'm just saying that would be hilarious. That would be a Jose-esque.
It doesn't count if he goes to a different team.
I agree.
Yes, he has to start again.
And we're dropping Roma hard. Then we're dropping Roma hard if he goes to a different team. But as of right now, Red Card Radio, the official team of Red Card Radio is AS Roma. Or Serie A.
I don't know if I can necessarily personally get on board with that because I'm a Juventus.
It's a 2-3 vote. You still lost.
I'm tangentially a Juventus supporter.
No, it's 1.5 to 1.5 because I just need to point out, Brad, you do not. It is an implied AS. And every time you call it AS Roma, I am not going to root for them. Just call it Roma.
Okay, Roma. I need to keep this 2 to 1 vote. Roma. So we beat out James's Roma. Let's go Roma.
The AS is implied.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. Roma's winning the Europa League. Roma is the official club
you got the Ukrainian league down, but the Serie A is a mystery to you.
Italian's hard for me.
Yeah, what does AS stand for, Brad? You should Google that real quick.
Probably FC, and if it was an English football club.
Well, football, calcio is the word for football essentially in Italian. So AS certainly doesn't stand for calcio. Anyway, we digress. Yeah, so I think Red Card Radios ultimately we're rooting for Juventus in their semifinal and Roma in their semifinal, mostly to see Sean's head explode. And I think also at this point we're rooting for Inter in the final of the Champions League. So there's
Sports Association.
Sports Association. Okay.
There's just a bunch of
Leon Sportiva.
A bunch of dentists about to get some fat bonuses, buddy.
Dentists. That's
all it is.
Oh my goodness, you're such a troll. Sean tried to move us here a minute or 2 minutes ago.
He did.
But in the Conference League, still kicking is David Moyes and the boys. They are cruising right along.
15th place.
They have a 2-1 aggregate lead over AZ Alkmaar. Again, the Pride, Josie Altidor's old team. But if we think about it, they are going to
probably safe.
Where is that? Where is their a Dutch team? Is that? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes. Yeah, they're Dutch.
So they'll be going to the Netherlands on Thursday. So at the time of listening, if you guys are listening to this on Thursday morning, you could check out any of the Europa League games and or the Conference League games on Paramount. If you're in America, Paramount Plus has those. So
it appears by car to be about an hour and a half northwest of Amsterdam.
Okay, so it's like 100 kilometers. 120 kilometers.
I'm just guessing on time. No, that's a lot closer. Hold on.
It was like 45 minutes.
I misjudged this.
Were you applying USA scale to the Netherlands?
Yeah.
When you looked at the picture.
When I scrolled out, I was like, oh my god, it's tiny. It's about 25 miles away. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's too funny. All right. So I want to talk about this PGMOL sympathy tour. We're going to explain VAR to people thing that's going on. So the Premier League and the PGMOL's chief Howard Webb produced a video where Howard Webb was in a studio with some dude and they were looking at VAR decisions. And so they played the video and then they played the video again, but with the referees like commenting like their audio that was being recorded. And then they kind of explained what was going on. And so they did like 4 or 5 of these scenarios where they were essentially like, look how well VAR did here. Like, look at all the things that they checked up on and look how good they were. And then they were like, well, but sometimes VAR gets it wrong. And the one that they brought up was I think it was Ivan Toney against I forget who it was, but it was one where Ivan Toney was given a penalty. VAR checked it and agreed with that decision. But Howard Webb's supposition after the fact was that they shouldn't have awarded the penalty and that VAR got it wrong because they didn't look at the fact that Ivan Toney initiated the contact with the defender.
So no controversy. They didn't talk any controversial ones.
They didn't talk about any of the really controversial ones that they came out and like I guess maybe they probably did come out and publicly apologize to Brentford for that one as well. But like there have been some other ones that were like Lee Mason didn't draw the lines. Like they didn't draw the lines on the offside in the Arsenal match against Brentford. I think it was. It's like that's a real bad one. Or
like, hair pull? I would have loved to hear about the hair pull.
Yeah, like that's an interesting one. I forgot that was this season, if I'm being completely honest with you. Like so there were there have been some exceptionally spicy VAR situations this season.
5 managers ago?
And 5 managers ago. That's terrible.
Are we counting Poch as the 5th manager of this year?
No, because he's taking over in June, Brad. He hasn't officially signed yet, has he?
No, but like everybody, probably including his mother, said he's coming to Chelsea.
To be fair, time of recording, he hasn't signed, but you guys might be listening to this on Thursday, and he might be the Chelsea manager. Who knows?
Correct. We'll have our fifth manager for the year, but I don't care.
I will give you guys my opinion about this. It seems like they're fishing for sympathy. They're fishing for like, look, we're doing it right. Yeah, we have some kinks that we're working out. Which I take issue with, because this is like the third or fourth season of VAR in the Premier League. Like, everyone should know how it works at this point. There should be no kinks to work out in the issue, like in the,
like clearly they did this to be like, oh, you guys should like us. VAR is not the problem. Like, no, fam, if you're just going to do that, then show us the real. Like, the refs don't have, like, you didn't show us you showed us these VAR scenarios that weren't big. Like, we want to see the big ones. We want the referee recordings released every game. Yeah, so you don't have to go on these publicity tours, because we're like, okay, cool, we get it. This is what they said they saw.
Like, sure, like you showed us the softball ones where like obviously VAR did a good job, but like you should really, like, if you want to garner support and like rebuild the image, you should show us the ones that the VAR got exceptionally wrong, and then tell us what you did to rectify it. Like, like tell us what happened and how you guys are going to fix it down the road. Like, that would be so much more interesting than like what we got.
Yeah, like legitimately have a conversation with us of like, all right, yeah, general gripe here. Here's what we did to fix it. I think that's a very fair point. Of like, all right, we got it wrong. Like, I think why they don't do that is then teams have, in certain ones of those games, teams have a legitimate gripe to go back to the FA and be like, we deserve those points you were taking away from us.
Or like in certain situations,
point where it was a winning goal.
What happens
in the last minutes?
Yeah, what happens like when so the PGMOL has apologized to teams for decisions that they got wrong, right? What happens when a team like gets relegated by 2 points because they had a game that they should have won that turned out to be a draw? Like, what happens when Everton get relegated and there was a dubious VAR decision in January or something like that the PGMOL apologized for? Like they're opening themselves up to some, like, I think, some significant liability.
That's why I think they don't admit the bad ones.
It would be better if maybe like they got some indemnification from the clubs that they wouldn't do that. But it's just, so I can see your point as to why they would.
There's some really bad ones recently that even if I handshook agree to that, there's been some bad ones where Arsenal have plenty of gripe with it's been 2 or 3 where you're just like, you directly lost us points.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's legitimate gripe.
I think a couple teams can look at that this year and be like, especially with the Brentford offside lines, it would have been really, really spicy if Arsenal lost the league by 1 point. So like, had we had those 2 points, we would have outright won the league. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so it would have been really spicy how that had happened. But yeah, I don't know. Tell us what you guys think. I did post the video. It's in our Discord. So if you check the description of this video or hit the show notes for the podcast that you're on, there should be a link to our Discord that you can join, and the video is in there. And I think it's a really interesting video. It's like 30 minutes, so there's a lot of content there that they go over. It's a chunky video. So, but take some time and watch it. I think it's a really interesting video. But we definitely, the Red Card Radio stands in unison that we would like them to produce another video like this, but it's of all of the really glaring errors. And then I'm with Brad. I think that everyone should be able to just go download the match audio. Just post it on the Premier League website. Like, we should have access to the ref audio. And maybe if we don't have access to it as the general public, the clubs should definitely have access to it. But
yeah. How about what's going on? I've now clocked the little key of how far things are apart. How about what's really happening about 12 miles southeast of Bologna?
In Bologna, it's raining. My understanding is that it's very rainy right now.
And it hasn't stopped, huh?
Yeah.
In Imola, Italy. There.
Yeah, it feels like we're getting the same rain here.
Yeah, so I'm sure we're supposed to have a race, a Grand Prix this weekend. I'm still fairly new to the sport, so like I don't know what happens if there's so much rain that they can't race on like, because it's not just Sunday. They can't just like rock up and have a Grand Prix on Sunday. You have to do qualifying, you have to do practice. Like there's all these things that you have to do as well.
Well,
I mean,
so there is documented. I mean, there was a movie about it. There's documented precedent on what happens. I doubt they still do this, but have you guys ever seen the movie with Chris Hemsworth about? Now I'm blanking on names. It was in the 80s, and it was Lewis Hamilton's idol that came to Mercedes and mentored. Why am I blanking his name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he came to Mercedes and was his mentor, because he is like a car savant. But he, in a famous race, I don't remember which country, he was the big proponent of I don't want to race. It is too much rain on the track, and they called together the drivers and asked them to vote. And because they were in a heated like points race for the title, the other guy just rounded up enough people to make the race go on. And in that race, this guy wrecked and burned he was like burned, half his face was gone. And so I think they made a rule of like, all right, there's no more vote or something like that. Like no more vote. Like we're making the call. Y'all are not allowed to make the call anymore. Because y'all made the wrong call.
Yeah, you can't let competitors make the decision about whether or not it's safe to compete, because 9 times out of 10, the competitors want to compete, right? And they're gonna be like, yeah, we'll be okay, you know?
Yep.
And especially in a sport like motor racing where you're driving at 200 miles an hour.
It was Niki Lauda.
That's right.
He just recently passed away.
Yeah.
That was Niki Lauda. So the movie is about Niki Lauda and that year, and he still was visibly scarred to this day from that fire right before he passed. But he came back like in a ridiculous. He came back in like 2 weeks to finish the season.
Really?
With like skin grafts and like bandages on his face. The movie's insane if you haven't seen it.
Makes Lance Stroll look like a punk.
Would he get a little blisty?
He's with his broken hands trying to race.
Oh no, that's
Rush.
You can't drive with a Rush. You can't drive with a broken hand. You can drive with a burnt face. You can't drive with a broken hand though. You need your whole hand.
Yeah.
Well, Lance Stroll was impressive, and then he's kind of fallen off since then. But his first race was impressive with the broken hands.
Yeah, I mean, Lance Stroll is definitely letting Aston Martin down. 100%.
Isn't this upgrade week?
Yes, I think Mercedes has upgrades that they're bringing to Imola.
I think Villa has upgrades too.
Aston Villa?
Martin. Aston Martin.
Aston Martin should have some. I think Ferrari has another round as well. I think Red Bull also is supposed to be introducing upgrades as well.
But it's essentially that all of that tangent was to say that I don't think the drivers decide anymore. I think they make a legitimately safe call of if it is safe to do race activities or not. I am almost certain they probably do a very similar thing to NASCAR does this, where if they cannot practice or they cannot race, I'm sorry, I've missed all. I'm 0 for 2 out of 3 things. If they cannot qualify, but the race can happen, they will do it under their point standings.
Oh, okay.
Start under their point standings. So, and I don't know. I highly doubt if they were able to practice but not qualify. I don't think they would go off their practice times. I think they would still default to their point standings.
I think it would
know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I obviously we hope that the race goes on, and more importantly, we hope that the town and like that region of Italy is fine from flooding, because like that's apparently it's really bad. So like obviously more interested in like the human capital aspect of it, and that people are safe, that they don't lose their homes and their livelihoods in it. But it will be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, it's rough. If you just look at Google Maps, there are warning northeastern floodings in as far northwest as Sassuolo and Reggio Emilia. It's as far northeast as Venice. Venice is getting a good part of it. Imola, Ravenna is getting a good chunk of it. It's just all coming down from the Alps, and these countries or these towns and cities are getting the wrath of it as it comes down. And plus, I'm sure it's still raining too, so like they're getting both ends.
Yeah.
Of rising rivers and rain. So
yeah, it's a tough one. But if the race does go on, to your point, Brad, it will be interesting to see what all these teams bring through their upgrade path. Will Aston Martin, Ferrari, Mercedes be able to not catch Red Bull, but reduce the pace gap? Will Mercedes be able to knock Fernando Alonso off of the podium? It really a lot of interesting things going on here. So check back later this week, and you guys might have more information about this than we do at this point. But if it's going on, we'll be watching, and we'll have the results next week for you.
Are we doing our guess on how big of a lead Verstappen gets?
No, because that's a stupid question.
20 seconds.
Brad said a stupid thing 6 weeks ago and was almost right, and it just made me upset before Australia. I was visibly seething. Sean,
you want some trivia?
I was gonna say I believe you have trivia.
After people he named earlier, he's only getting one. He is only getting one. All right. So I am giving you one of the 5 because Zach Greinke joined one of 5 pitchers all time to strike out 1,000 individual unique batters in his career.
I think
that is not 1,000 strikeouts. That is different batters that they've struck out. There is only 4 other players to do so. Can you name them?
Nolan Ryan.
And then,
I mean, Randy Johnson or Kurt Schilling.
All right, good guess. I realize I'm giving away stuff for James, so I'm gonna stop doing that. That's a good.
Oh shoot! I can't think of his name. He was on the Yankees. He bounced everywhere.
I think I know. I think I know
his name.
I think you're looking for Roger Clemens.
Yes, I was gonna say Kurt Clemens for some reason.
Yeah.
Right,
so
Roger Clemens.
That's a good guess.
Who else would I add to this list? I think you could make a shout for Maddox. Maybe Smoltz.
Or Smoltz.
I think you're looking at players who had long careers.
Long careers.
And probably starting pitchers over relievers, because like you would want to say like someone like Mariano Rivera got a fair number of strikeouts, but he probably didn't face enough.
He doesn't face enough batters.
What, like six batters? Max Scherzer could also be on that list. Because he's lots of strikeouts for that guy.
But you want to do somebody that's moved from AL to NL.
James, what would be your official? Yes, that helps if you're older. If you move
tremendously. Obviously, Nolan Ryan's on my list. Roger Clemens is on my list. I think Kurt Schilling is an option. I'm not sold on Kurt Schilling though.
I think it's Randy out of the 2 of them.
I'm gonna take John Smoltz and.
There's probably an old head or 2 that we haven't said.
That was going to be my first clue. Is the first one? You both said Nolan Ryan. That is correct. The first one started pitching in the 70s, it was Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's no old heads.
Okay.
So you guys said all four names.
Yes.
So it will be a combination between you and Brad. Actually got Brad actually got all four of them.
Yeah, Brad was just named a lot of people.
Let's go.
He said out in order. He named Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson, Roger Clemens, and then the other one he didn't name was Greg Maddux.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, not in order.
But not in order. You named the other three that you didn't name.
Okay.
You didn't name Greg Maddux. So there have only been those 5 pitchers that have struck out 1,000 unique batters in their career.
I shocked Sean with this one, by the way. Like,
Sean is yes, you did. Yes, you did. Because when you were naming good players,
90s baseball.
90s baseball. He was just throwing out
I was a kid. I was
Frank Thomas. Like, just all right.
I don't even think I said Frank Thomas.
Have nailed 98.
To be fair, I gave him Roger Clemens. He was thinking it, but I gave it to him. So I'm just throwing that out there.
I was when he said that, I was like, well, that's Randy Johnson too.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought Randy Johnson personally.
No, because I said Yankees. I think is why you got Roger Clemens from it.
No, I already had Roger Clemens before you said Yankees.
No, I know, but as I was trying to like think of Roger Clemens' name,
told me that you knew who.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Randy Johnson was probably specifically because he spent so much time in Seattle and then spent so much time in Arizona, and then went to the Yankees, and now he's just looking for longevity points of like new batters from there.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a really long career. Yeah.
Yeah. Really.
Between different divisions, different conferences.
When you're like 6'9" and you're 4 inches from the plate,
you throw it 102. Yeah,
it don't matter.
It feels like it's faster, even if it's 92, because he's 4 inches from the plate by the time he releases the ball because he's so tall.
Yeah, he's kind of a freak, like in terms of like how big he was, and he was a pitcher.
Do you know what he did now?
What does he do now?
He's an NFL photographer. Did you not see him?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy Johnson photography on Instagram.
Slipped into the ether. Nobody asked about what he's doing. He's just doing what he loves, just snapping pictures of NFL games. That's all he does.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I will be interested to see how Jimmy did. I'll be interested to see how Will did, and I'll be interested to see how Joel did. I'll be very interested to see how Joel got 0.
Joel's getting none. I don't expect Joel to get any of them.
I think Jimmy.
He doesn't know who. He probably knows who Nolan. He is probably aware of the existence of Nolan Ryan.
I don't think
because he is such an icon.
Jimmy. I don't think Joel is aware of any of these humans. I think.
Jimmy, hey, I'm giving you some credit, Joel, that you are aware of the existence of these people. I don't know if you know what they do or if they were any good at what they did. I just think you're aware of the existence of these names.
The only one I would give him is Roger Clemens, because Roger Clemens ended up on Capitol Hill and like he was in the news. It's like that might be a thing. But I think Jimmy gets all 5, and I think Will does pretty well here too. So let us know how you guys did in the comments. And if I didn't say your name and you did the trivia with us, I would love to hear how you did as well. Check back tomorrow. We've got a preview of Match Week 36. Got a handful of games. We could have a champion this weekend. So definitely check back while we preview that for you. Hit us up on Twitter. That guy on top wearing the blue is at KSBradG. Down below it's Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. And collectively we can all be reached at redcard_radio. And we look forward to presenting you with another episode tomorrow. And until then, have a good one. Thanks for listening.